Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. You know, I got this interest in the restaurant industry. To me, it's interesting to see businesses in this particular domain area still pop up, in spite of how weird the economy is. And I always like to find out what's happening out there. I got Wendy Weinstein with a company called Y2K Consulting, and we're going to spend a little bit of time talking to her. Or Y2K, W2K. Yeah, it's W2K Consulting. Very good. Y2K. I'm like a blast from the past there. You know, when everyone thought the whole world was going to come to an end about 13 years ago. Nah, it'd be another decade or so before that would happen. But anyway, Wendy, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kevin. It's a pleasure to be here.
Tell us a little bit about W2K Marketing.
Absolutely, and you are right on spot there because I founded W2K Marketing Consulting in the year 2000. So it was a play on the Y2K phenomena. And we just when everybody thought the world was going to end, I started a business. And what I do is I work as a marketing consultant to the restaurant industry. And I also work in food and beverage, health and wellness. We also have a restaurant in the family, so to say, as we're about to celebrate the 10th anniversary of our own restaurant called Plates in suburban New York City, that I opened together with my husband, Chef Matthew Karp, about 10 years ago. What I do is that I advise clients on marketing, public relations, and restaurant management issues, and basically function as an outsourced director of marketing for mostly independent restaurants who can't really kind of afford to have CMOs thinking within their organization, but they can afford a piece of one. Mm-hmm. And so I provide them good guidance based on my experience as a marketer, a restaurateur, and a business person.
Right. So, Wendy, I got to have a lot of questions, so I can tell you're going to answer each one thoroughly, which is great.
I'm going to try.
You're doing a great job. But give me a little more time to ask some questions back so we can dialogue just a little. So, you said something that caught my attention. I never, ever heard the expression suburbia, New York City suburbia, or suburban New York City. I love that expression. What does that mean, though?
Well, that really means those of us who live just outside the city, but we rely on New York City for our commerce and our business and our employment, and we look to it as our cultural center. So it's really Metro New York, those of us in the also called bedroom communities where we live, with backyards and fences and our community on the water, but we rely heavily on New York City.
Yeah, where do you live?
I live in Larchmont, New York.
You never heard of it.
So. 35 minutes train ride north.
My producer who lived in New York, of course, had heard of it, so he's acting all smug at me right now. But anyway, I hadn't heard of it. I'm being honest. I visit New York. I visit New York fairly frequently. I wish I had more time to visit more often, but I hadn't heard of that, so shame on me.
You'll call me next time, and we'll go to all the good places.
Awesome. Yeah, you can take me to all the restaurants there. We'll do a tour. As long as you're paying or they're paying, I will join you the whole time. I love it. So tell me a little bit about what's going on with your own restaurant.
Well, our own restaurant is going to reach that 10-year milestone, which, of course, in the industry really says you've made it and you sort of know what you're doing, and we'll be celebrating that. And it really was a concept that was set up to bring New York City-type food and dining to the suburbs, and that's what we did. We were one of the first to do it. Others have joined the movement since, but it really falls into the greater trend that food in restaurants in our country is getting better and better, and those trends which start in urban centers are moving farther and farther afield. So the good news is great food is really becoming more accessible to everyone.
Larchmont, New York is where your restaurant is.
Yes, it is. And I also work for restaurants in New York City. I have a client, Paolo's Restaurant in New York City. It's on 92nd and Madison on the Upper East Side. It is frequented by your namesake, the still current mayor, Mike Bloomberg, and many other people who live in that area. And she's a very successful independent restaurateur, and I advise her on a number of issues such as branding, restaurant technology, back-end restaurant architecture, all kinds of drivers to have an efficient organization.
So my name is neither Mike nor Bloomberg. So, Bloomberg, the radio affiliate. I get it.
Yes.
Wow, what a stretch on that. Yeah, this is a place that handles Bloomberg News. Absolutely. Thank you very much for that. But we don't talk about him fondly. But anyway, I'm just joking. This is Houston, Texas, you know. He's a little bit New York in the way he looks at things, and we're a little Texan the way we look at things. But yes, very good stretch there. I like that, though. That was nice. How far is Larchmont from New York City itself?
It's a 35-minute train ride.
Yeah, it's right around the corner, really. It's not that bad at all. And that's cool. So what do you think of the state of the restaurant industry right now in New York?
Well, you know, the restaurant industry is really no longer about only good food and good location, which were the two sort of keys to success many years ago. Right now, there's a host of technology-driven marketing needs, and there is, you know, on the business side and on the food side, there's a changing landscape of preferences and consumer choices, and restaurateurs are changing to meet those demands. I think food is getting better and better. There's that farm-to-table movement, also called farm-to-fork sometimes, where we're looking to source our ingredients more locally, better things, whole foods. There's trends in juicing. There's all kinds of things where better and fresher food is being made available to consumers.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are still a little remiss about going out to eat because of the financial cost. And so if they're going to do it, it needs to be kind of special, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's all different opportunities and at different price points. Even there's a sort of a category of restaurants called fast casual, which are at the lower end. It's not necessarily fine dining like my own restaurant or my client's restaurant, but this concept of fast casual is a more approachable price point, and increasingly those concepts are serving up better, tastier, and healthier foods. For example, there is a concept called Zoe's Kitchen. You may know it. There's several in Houston, some in Dallas, San Antonio, Austin. They have about 100 units. It's a growing concept. It's not an expensive restaurant group, and it does very good food. It has healthy things. It's very pleasing, nice atmosphere, and this is at an affordable price point. And I think that Steve L's and Chipotle is a real driver in leading that model where good food can be affordable and available to more and more Americans. Yeah,
absolutely. So how long have you been in the whole restaurant industry?
Well, I used to work for a company called San Pellegrino. It's a mineral water company owned by Nestle now, and I was their director of marketing. And I've been basically working for 25 years. So San Pellegrino sold primarily to the restaurant channel, so either selling to the channel, marketing for the channel. I've been in the restaurant industry and related industries, food and beverage, my whole working career. I also, at this time, consult to investment bankers about publicly traded restaurant, food tech, and food service stocks. So I sort of come at it from a couple different angles.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I appreciate you spending time telling us a little bit about your company and the work you're doing. And W2K Consulting. What's the website you want people to check out? W2KConsulting.com. W2KConsulting.com. That's easy enough. Even I can remember that. Thanks so much.
I'm sure you can remember that and much more. I look forward to seeing you in some New York restaurants.
There you go. I do, too. All right. Have a great rest of your day. I'm Kevin Price. When we come back, much more for you. I do want to remind you, best content here shows up over there at usdailyreview.com. I hope you remember a veteran today. I am sure going to. Thanks.
It's been getting so